Hey everyone, Shane Sato here. I am the photographer and co-author of the Go for Broke Spirit. I'm so excited I want to tell you that the second sister book is nearing completion. We've been working so hard, taking photos and traveling the country over the past year, sharing the stories of the Nisei American veterans. For those who don't know who the Nisei were, these are the second generation Japanese Americans who fought for this country when their country did not fight for them. So these veterans not only fought for this country, but they had to fight prejudice as well at home. They fought for the 100th 442nd, and they were the most decorated unit for its size and length of service in U.S. military history.
In the Go for Broke Spirit, we're sharing stories of Japanese Americans in service during World War II. These are Nisei, second-generation American citizens. Many of them came out of Hawaii to form the 100th Battalion. They were later joined by men of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, many of whom volunteered or were drafted right out of camps here in the U.S. Another group that served by the MIS, or Military Intelligence Service. They served in the Pacific. They were a secret weapon there. They were interpreters, interrogators, and they helped MacArthur ensure victory in the Pacific.
So when we were traveling across the country taking these photos, I really take my time to try and get a personality side to each of these Nisei veterans, which if you know any of these men, that's not always the easiest thing to do.
One of the things I appreciate about Ching as a photographer is his ability to put his subjects in a comfort zone, to provide a secure environment that lets them open up a wide emotional range that's not typical of Nisei veterans. It also allows us to tap into the mood of that photo, to that range of emotions from laughter to these quiet moments of introspection, and for us to share a personal story that gives you a better glimpse into who this person was and who they become.
So then we added a story to go along with each veteran. We wanted this to be a short personal story, not just history. And in that way, it was kind of like a talk story. A father telling his son about grandfather. And in that way, hopefully you as the reader can get to know them on a personal as well as a historical level.
Another element that I really enjoy about this project are the candid photos. These are photos that were provided by the veterans and their families. And it lets you see just how young these guys were when they went to war. 17, 18, 19-year-olds, some of them. That, by contrast to the portraits, makes you realize this elder statesman and this young boy that went to war, there was a full life that happened in between.
So now I've been taking pictures of these veterans for over 20 years. I want to personally thank all of you who helped me get to the different areas such as Chicago, New York, Denver, Salt Lake City, Seattle, and even San Diego to help photograph more veterans and get more stories for the second book. So for me, this project is very personal. On my dad's side, they lived in Maui, and my uncles, my dad's brothers, fought in the 100th Battalion. I never knew about any of these stories because no one ever talked to me about it. So on my mom's side, the Yasudas, they lived on a farm in Visalia, California. They had their personal freedoms taken away as the family was taken to Poston, Arizona, a WRA camp. I always asked my mom, what was it like in camp? And she never really talked about it, nor did my family. Finally, when I kept asking her, she said, "You don't want to be in camp."
In writing these short personal stories, Shane and I have worked really hard to try to give you a glimpse into each one of the lives of these men, whether it's a life arc or whether it's really a moment in time, whether it's through the heat of battle or who they became after the war. Each one of these stories is very personal and specific to each one of them, and we hope they are inspiring to you and that they will touch your heart in some manner.
So this project was a fantastic experience for us. Through this, we were able to travel to different parts of the country and present the book to the veterans and their families. We were also invited by different organizations to talk about the book and share the stories of the veterans. We went to San Diego, San Jose, Las Vegas, and even Seattle to present these stories and talk about the veterans as well as internment. And many of the people who heard these stories heard it for the very first time. So now we're asking for your help. We are looking for finishing funds so we can complete this project by the end of this year. These funds will help us oversee the printing process as well as provide a free book to the veteran or their families. So for those of you who have already donated for the name in the second book, not to worry. If you donate again under the same name, we're going to highlight that name so it stands out as a recognition that you've donated twice for us. Thank you very much. So in case you didn't know, go for broke is a gambling term from Hawaii. It means shoot the works or risk it all. These Japanese American veterans risked it all when they fought for this country. So I hope that you help us tell these stories when we go for broke. Mahalo.
What's social media?
Do you know what social media is, Frank?
No, I don't know any of that stuff.